Have you ever heard of the so-called elderly scent? It might sound harsh, but it's a real phenomenon that affects most people starting at age 60. The surprising thing is that it's not just about hygiene, it's related to a transformation in the body that isn't visible to the naked eye. If you've noticed an unusual or musty smell on your skin, clothes, or even on your pillowcase, don't ignore it. It's a sign that something else is going on. The good news is that you can stop it and even reverse it if you act quickly. Stick with me, because I'm about to share 5 essential steps you should take immediately to eliminate that odor and keep your body fresh, clean, and healthy. Why does this strange smell occur? Experts call it nonino, and it arises when the skin produces more fatty acids while its antioxidant reserves decrease. This phenomenon intensifies with age, especially after 60. As a result, an odor emerges, often associated with hints of moisture, fat, or a slight acidic note. The most annoying part is that this odor clings to your clothes, sheets, and furniture. Even after showering, it might persist. But the real issue isn't just the change in smell, it also signals that your body is struggling to process certain toxins and fats, which, if not properly managed, could lead to other health problems. What can you do about it? Let's explore 5 actions you should take right away. Choose a balanced pH soap. Many people think soap is just something you apply, rinse off, and move on. However, after 60, your body undergoes subtle transformations that may go unnoticed, and the soap you've been using for years may stop being effective. The skin produces natural oils to maintain its hydration, but over time, these oils break down differently. Instead of contributing to a fresh feeling, they mix with oxygen and bacteria, leading to that signature age-related smell, even after a shower. The problem is that regular soap doesn't have the power to stop it. The solution is a pH-balanced shower gel. Unlike harsh soaps that dry out the skin, this one works in harmony with it, neutralizing the compounds that cause bad odors instead of just masking them. Essential ingredients to look for. Heavy checkmark green tea helps eliminate toxins from the skin. Heavy checkmark activated charcoal traps oils that cause bad odors. Heavy checkmark citrus extracts combat the musty smell, replacing it with a fresh, natural fragrance. Expert suggestion: don't rush to rinse off. Let the soap sit on your skin for at least a minute before washing it off for it to be truly effective. Also, avoid hot water, as it strips away beneficial natural oils and can intensify the bad odor over time. Opt for lukewarm water. With this simple change, you'll notice cleaner skin, a fresher scent, and you won't have to worry if others notice your odor before you even speak. Improve your diet. Let me ask you a question: have you noticed that some people seem to have a fresher scent than others, even without using fragrances? It's not by chance. What you eat affects how you smell. If you've passed 60, your diet might be making this situation worse. Some foods increase the production of fatty acids in your body, and when combined with sweat and bacteria, they produce a damp or slightly acidic smell. The main culprits: prohibited processed foods, prohibited fried foods, prohibited excessive red meat consumption. These foods increase oxidative stress in your body, signaling that your system is having trouble processing toxins. And how do those toxins escape? Through your skin. Before we continue, remember to like the video if you're enjoying it and subscribe to the channel for the best advice on how to attract abundance and prosperity into your life. Let's move on. How to fix it. It's important to include foods in your diet that fight bad odors from the inside out. Heavy checkmark green leafy vegetables, like spinach, kale, and parsley, they contain chlorophyll, a natural deodorizer that helps eliminate toxins before they reach your skin. Heavy checkmark citrus fruits, like oranges, lemons, and grapefruits, they purify the body and leave your skin feeling fresh. Heavy checkmark foods high in antioxidants, like berries, nuts, and green tea, they combat oxidative stress and reduce the generation of oils that cause bad odors. Practical tip: every morning, drink warm water with lemon. It aids in toxin elimination, improves digestion, and prevents body odors from the start of the day. Change your sheets and clothes more often. You might be surprised, but the smell isn't limited to your skin, it's also present in your clothes, sheets, and pillows. Nonenal, the compound responsible for this smell, doesn't just stay on the skin, it also binds to the fibers of fabrics. The frustrating part is that regular washing doesn't always eliminate it completely. This means that even after showering, you might be dressing in clothes or lying in sheets that still carry that smell. Solution: bed wash your sheets at least once a week. You spend several hours in bed each night, and during that time, your body releases sweat, oils, and dead skin cells. If you only wash them every 2 weeks, or less frequently, you're essentially sleeping on a buildup of bacteria that causes bad odor. T-shirt: change your clothes more regularly, especially the ones that come in direct contact with your skin. Underwear, t-shirts, and pajamas should be washed after each use. Bonus: use white vinegar or baking soda during the wash to remove non-anal residue from your clothes. Persistent bad odor in your bedding can be a hassle, so it's recommended to wash your sheets at least twice a week and not forget the pillowcases. Your head, neck, and face are in direct contact with them, and if they're not kept fresh, you'll only be intensifying the odor on your skin. Now, let's talk about clothing. Non-anal tends to stick to fabrics, although some retain it more than others. If you wear a lot of garments made from synthetic materials like polyester or nylon, you're worsening the problem. These fabrics don't allow proper ventilation, which traps the odor and causes it to persist even after washing. Opt for more breathable fabrics like cotton and linen, which encourage air circulation and don't retain odors as intensely. Here's a little-known laundry tip: detergent alone isn't enough. Conventional laundry soap doesn't effectively remove non-anal, so sometimes, even after washing your clothes and sheets, they don't smell completely fresh. One option is to add white vinegar to the wash. Vinegar acts as a natural deodorizer that breaks down the odor molecules, instead of simply masking them. Just pour about half a cup into the fabric softener compartment or add it directly during the rinse cycle, and you'll see a significant improvement. This small adjustment, washing your bedding and clothes more frequently, choosing the right fabrics, and adding vinegar to the washing machine, can completely eradicate that annoying smell. You'll wake up feeling refreshed, your clothes will smell fresher, and most importantly, you won't carry that bad odor throughout the day. Step 4. Stay hydrated and detoxify your skin. Let me ask you a question: how much water have you consumed today? If you're like many people, you probably haven't drunk enough, and that can be a serious problem. When your body can't efficiently eliminate toxins, what do you think happens? They start to come out through your skin. That peculiar smell you notice after 60 is not just sweat, but the toxins that have built up and your body hasn't been able to expel. When you're dehydrated, your body works more slowly, and waste isn't properly eliminated, remaining trapped inside. Instead of disappearing, these compounds are released through your pores. That's why, no matter how many showers you take, the bad smell keeps appearing. What should you do? First, make sure to drink at least 8 glasses of water daily. And not just any kind of drink, but clear, pure water. Coffee, soda, and sugary drinks actually worsen dehydration. Your body needs clean water to eliminate toxins before they're released through your skin. If you want to speed up the detoxification process even more, don't settle for just plain water, add lemon. Lemon water helps your liver eliminate waste more quickly, preventing odor-causing compounds from staying in your body. A great complement is green tea, rich in antioxidants, which helps your body break down fats and oils more effectively, reducing the amount of odor released through sweat. Now, let's talk about something often overlooked, your skin. If you don't exfoliate your body, you allow layers of dead skin cells, sweat, and natural oils to accumulate, which trap bad odors like a sponge. That's why it's important to exfoliate at least once a week. Use a loofah, a dry brush, or a gentle scrub before showering. This will remove the dead skin cells where the odor-causing compounds accumulate, allowing your skin to breathe and stay fresh for longer. In summary, to eliminate bad odor for good, it's important to address it from the inside. Increase your water intake, choose lemon water or green tea, and exfoliate your skin regularly. By doing this, you'll not only enjoy a fresher scent, but also experience a sense of lightness, greater vitality, and even a more youthful appearance. Step 5. Use a natural deodorant with antioxidants. Let's be honest, if your deodorant were truly effective, you wouldn't be facing that bad smell over and over again, right? You put it on in the morning, and by midday, bam! The odor is back. This happens because conventional deodorants don't eliminate bad odors, they just try to mask them, and that's no longer enough after 60. The issue is not just limited to sweat, there's a more complex factor, nanino, a substance that accumulates on the skin over time. Common deodorants don't break it down, so even if you apply them, that rancid, somewhat oily smell persists. The solution lies in a deodorant containing natural antioxidants. It's not just about masking the bad smell but eliminating it at its source to prevent it from coming back. Opt for deodorants that include vitamin C, eucalyptus, or witch hazel. These ingredients help break down the substances that cause the odor and keep your skin fresh for longer. These aren't just sophisticated ingredients, they actually work. Vitamin C aids in breaking down the fatty acids responsible for nanino, preventing them from sticking to your skin and causing odor. Eucalyptus eliminates bacteria that intensify bad smells, keeping you fresh for longer. Witch hazel acts as a natural skin toner, reducing pore size and regulating oil production, which leads to an overall reduction in odor. If you continue using traditional deodorants with synthetic fragrances, aluminum, and parabens, you might actually be making the problem worse. These chemicals can block your pores and trap nanino, making it harder to eliminate the bad smell. That's why switching to a natural deodorant can be a real game changer. Also, how you apply it is crucial. Here's what you should do. Apply the product right after your shower when your skin is still slightly damp. This helps with absorption and prolongs its effectiveness. Use only a small amount. Natural deodorants interact with your body, so you don't need much, a small amount is enough. If needed, reapply, especially after exercising or on hot days. By making this adjustment, you'll experience something surprising, you won't need to reapply deodorant constantly. Why? Your body will stop generating that bad smell from the start. So, instead of just masking the problem, address the cause. If, in addition, you stay properly hydrated, follow a balanced diet, wash your sheets regularly, and exfoliate your skin, you'll wake up feeling refreshed, confident, and free from unpleasant odors. If you've noticed a change in your body odor after 60, don't worry, it's totally normal. However, it's also an indication that your body might need a little extra attention. By changing your soap, improving your diet, washing your clothes regularly, staying hydrated, and opting for a natural deodorant, you can eliminate that smell and feel fresh, confident, and healthy every day. Let me know in the comments if you've ever noticed this scent and what has worked for you. I'd love to hear your experience. Thanks for watching the video, see you in the next one. Have you ever stopped to think about why some people in their 70s or 80s seem so exceptional, while others feel envious of those who face the passage of time with vitality, purpose, and energy in a world where most have left behind what used to be routine? Have you ever noticed that? The most fascinating thing is that the answers to achieving that energy may be closer than you think. Start by telling us which city you're following us from. We love getting to know the location of our friends, both in Brazil and around the world. Today, we're going to discover the 5 activities that, if you're still doing them, place you in the exclusive group of people who not only accept aging but manage it successfully. Even scientists and doctors will be surprised by the 5th item on our list, so stay tuned until the end. Before we begin, I'd love to know which activity or habit you're most proud of continuing to enjoy at 70, 80, or even older. Leave it in the comments and share your experience to inspire others. After all, one of the best ways to create a dynamic and energetic community is by sharing what you've lived. Let's now take a look at what characterizes those who maintain an active and healthy life until the end. According to the World Health Organization, more than 60% of people over 70 face physical or mental health problems that impact their quality of life. But what do those exceptional people have in common? Their simple yet powerful habits are what make the difference in their lifestyle. Would you like to learn how to stand out too? Next, we'll explore 5 aspects that can transform you into someone truly exceptional at 70, 80, and beyond. Get ready, as this could completely change your perspective on aging. Walk regularly. If you're already one of those who walk frequently, you can feel proud. You're ahead of many and part of an elite group that makes active decisions to take care of their health and extend their life. Walking is an excellent tool for transforming both the mind and emotions as well as the body. It's not just a recreational activity, let's see why it's so important. Strengthens the heart and promotes circulation. Walking makes the heart work harder by pumping blood, which helps nourish essential organs and prevent heart issues. Prevents chronic diseases. Walking regularly reduces the chances of developing conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, and obesity. Improves mood. When you walk, your body produces endorphins, known as the happiness hormones, which relieve stress and reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety. Lowers the risk of heart disease by up to 40%, according to a study from the renowned Harvard Medical School. Just 30 minutes of walking daily can significantly improve cardiovascular health. Here are some suggestions to include walking in your daily routine and make it a consistent practice. Set a regular schedule. The brain responds positively to routine. Why not go for a walk at the end of the afternoon to relax or early in the morning to start your day positively? Invite someone close. Walking with friends or family not only makes the activity more fun but also fosters social connection, increasing the likelihood that you'll continue the habit. Get a good pair of comfortable shoes. They're essential for preventing blisters and discomfort that could make you lose motivation. Use the time to disconnect or relax. Use the walk to get away from electronic devices or, if you prefer, to listen to podcasts or music that inspires you. Explore new routes. Each walk can become a small adventure as you discover new places. Why start today? Walking is an exercise that requires no expensive equipment, academic degrees, or technical knowledge. It's something you can do anywhere. Whether you're at home, in the park, or walking down the street, Every step you take positively influences your well-being, energy, and health. Here's a simple suggestion: why not get up right now, take a walk around your neighborhood, and enjoy the physical and mental benefits of walking. The small actions you take today will lead to meaningful accomplishments tomorrow. Walking is simple, life itself is a journey. Start now. Take care of your diet. While it may seem complicated to follow a balanced diet as you age, it's one of the best ways to ensure a long and fulfilling life. Eating is not only an essential part of a healthy diet but also a way to maintain your well-being, prevent disease, and boost your energy levels. But what does it really mean to eat healthily? Opt for natural foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean meats, and beneficial fats are some of your best allies. They provide your body with the essential nutrients it needs to function properly. Stay away from the enemies of good nutrition, ultra-processed foods, packed with sugars, salt, and unhealthy fats, which can overload your system and harm your well-being. Reduce the likelihood of developing neurodegenerative disorders. According to a study from the National Institute on Aging, following a healthy diet can reduce the risk of Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases by 35%. Optimize the quality of your daily diet by incorporating more fiber, foods like vegetables, legumes, oats, and fruits with skins promote digestion and prevent stomach discomfort. Include omega-3 in your daily diet. Foods like flax and chia seeds, as well as fish like salmon and sardines, are excellent sources of this essential nutrient for cardiovascular and brain health. Make sure to increase your water intake, as hydration is key. Prefer natural water and organic teas that support body cleansing. Avoid sugary drinks and industrial juices. Plan your meals in advance. Design a weekly menu to avoid impulsive choices and ensure you're getting essential nutrients. Cook more at home. By preparing your own meals, you have control over the ingredients, which is a loving way of taking care of yourself. Even small changes can lead to big results. It's not difficult to incorporate healthy habits into your life. Start with something simple, like adding fruit to your breakfast or swapping white bread for whole grain bread. Over time, small adjustments in your daily routine can make a significant impact. Maintaining a balanced diet is essential, not only to take care of your body but also to ensure vitality and well-being. Today is the day to start. Thank your future self. Third, keep stimulating your mind. Did you know that taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your physical well-being? If you've already adopted the practice of exercising your mind daily, whether through reading, solving challenges, or learning something new, you're on the path to a more fulfilling and happy life. Maintaining, and even boosting, your brain's performance requires consistent mental effort beyond simply distracting yourself. Before we continue, remember to like the video if you're enjoying it, and subscribe to the channel to receive the best tips on how to attract abundance and prosperity into your life. Let's move forward. Learn the benefits of preserving brain plasticity. Mental exercise helps create new neural connections in the brain, which can slow the gradual decline of cognitive abilities. Reducing the likelihood of neurodegenerative disorders. Studies show that keeping the mind active can delay the onset of conditions like dementia and Alzheimer's. This leads to a more gradual decline in cognitive functions and greater independence. According to research from Stanford University, people who keep their brain active experience cognitive aging 30% slower than those who don't stimulate it. How to exercise the mind daily. It's important to read books, magazines, articles, and stay updated on the news frequently. Reading not only expands knowledge but also stimulates thinking, which helps keep the mind alert. Facing challenges, activities like board games, Sudoku, puzzles, and crosswords are fun and effective ways to exercise the brain. Learning new things is also essential to continue developing our mental abilities. No matter what stage of life you're in, by nurturing your mind, you're investing in your independence and ability to face challenges that arise. Why not start now? Choose an interesting reading, try a new hobby, or solve a small puzzle. Every action, no matter how small, brings you closer to a more balanced, satisfying, and secure life. Remember, staying active also keeps your mind alert. Doing weight exercises is a great step toward a healthier and more independent life. If you've already integrated strength training into your routine at 70 or 80 years old, despite its unconventional appearance, this type of exercise is incredibly effective and offers benefits that go beyond physical effects. Why is strength training so crucial as we age? Maintaining muscle mass. As we age, we naturally lose muscle mass, which can lead to weakness and make daily activities more difficult. Exercise is key to preventing this loss. Strengthening bones. By activating bones through controlled impact movements, conditions like osteoporosis can be prevented. Optimizing coordination and balance. These aspects are essential for reducing the risk of falls, one of the leading causes of hospitalization in older adults. Greater independence. Having more strength makes everyday tasks like carrying bags, climbing stairs, and even standing up from a chair easier. A 40% reduction in fall risk. According to the National Institute on Aging, strength training plays a key role in preventing falls. Examples of simple and effective weightlifting routines. Squats, a simple yet incredibly effective exercise to improve mobility and tone the legs and glutes. If needed, you can use a chair for support. Instead of dumbbells, you can use light weights, cans, or water bottles. The upper body can also be worked with simple arm movements. Planks. This exercise strengthens the core, which is essential for maintaining stability. Start with a few seconds and gradually increase the time. Leg raises. To target the lower muscles, lift one leg at a time while sitting or lying down. Modified push-ups. These movements, which can be done against a wall or higher surfaces, are ideal for strengthening the chest and arms. How to start safely. You don't have to rush if you're just beginning, so take it slow. The most important thing is to be consistent to ensure the movements are done correctly and safely. Whenever possible, consult a physiotherapist or exercise expert. Adding weightlifting to your routine not only improves your physical abilities but also makes you more independent, which is even more valuable, knowing that your body is prepared and strong. These exercises ensure you can continue doing what you enjoy without limitations. Why not start now? Take a moment to do one or two of these moves throughout the day. Every repetition is an investment in your health, well-being, and quality of life. Don't forget, it's always a good time to get stronger. 5 Healthy connections. One of the fundamental pillars of a fulfilling and balanced life is strong social relationships. Interactions with others not only provide enjoyable moments, but also have significant positive effects on our health, especially in older age. Studies show that spending time with loved ones is as essential as eating a proper diet or engaging in physical activity. Why are relationships so important? To tackle depression and loneliness, one of the biggest challenges at this stage of life is the feeling of isolation, which can be overcome by feeling part of a group or having someone to share thoughts with. To activate the mind and body, engaging in social activities like dancing, walking, or simply conversing keeps both the body and mind moving. To strengthen immunity, healthy relationships help the body defend itself better from diseases and manage stress. The key to longevity, beyond wealth or success, a Harvard study on adult development, conducted over more than 80 years, has shown that healthy relationships are the most important factor for a long and satisfying life. How to improve your relationships as you age. Keep in constant communication. A video call, a simple message, or sharing a link may seem like small gestures, but their impact is significant. Strengthen bonds with those you care about, even if they're far away. Get involved in associations and communities. Senior meetings, dance classes, and book clubs are perfect for meeting people with similar interests and building new connections. Participate in collective activities, crafts, choirs, gardening, and even group walks promote friendship and create unforgettable memories. Make new acquaintances and expand your social circle, as this is something you can do at any time. Support networks, community gatherings, and volunteer organizations are ideal ways to build connections and meet different people. Offer encouragement and receive it in return. Relationships are mutual, offer support and companionship, but also allow others to offer the same. Life thrives on healthy relationships. Apart from the happiness they bring, deep connections provide purpose and energy to daily life. Building bonds is an investment that nourishes the soul and gives purpose to existence. Why not start right now? Try reaching out to a friend, joining a group, or trying a new social activity. Sometimes, small gestures can lead to significant transformations. Remember that sharing life with exceptional people makes everything more joyful and fulfilling. Here are some practical tips if you want to start changing your routine and incorporating these 5 habits. Dedicate the necessary time. Avoid trying to implement all changes at once. Focus on incorporating one habit at a time. You could start with a 10-minute walk, for example, and gradually increase the time. Simplify your routine. Incorporate new habits into your daily activities. Take a walk while shopping at the market or exercise while enjoying your TV shows. Find support in a group. Invite your friends and family to join you. Doing activities together is more enjoyable and motivating. Value your progress. Identify and celebrate any improvement, no matter how small it seems. This approach will strengthen your determination to keep going. Over time, you will start to notice the benefits of these practices, which will eventually become an organic part of your daily life. Debunking myths about active aging. While scientific research supports the benefits of maintaining healthy habits, misconceptions persist that may discourage older adults. Below are the most common ones. It's never too late to take the first step. Change is always possible. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine revealed that those who started exercising at age 70 had a 22% lower risk of dying in the following 5 years. Physical activity may be perceived as risky for older adults, but in reality, lack of movement poses greater dangers than staying active. Although individual abilities should be considered, adopting a dynamic lifestyle is crucial for preserving muscle strength and flexibility. Relationships are just as meaningful. Maintaining social connections is just as important as taking care of our physical health. According to a Harvard study that analyzed happiness and well-being over more than 8 decades, healthy connections are a key factor in enjoying a long and fulfilling life. Value your effort and dedication. It is admirable to maintain these practices even in your 70s or 80s. Your commitment to nurturing your relationships, physical well-being, and mental health reflects your inner strength, perseverance, and enthusiasm for life. You are an inspiring example, showing that aging does not conflict with finding meaning and purpose in life. By living this way, you also break stereotypes about aging and teach younger generations that leading a full, active, and healthy life is possible at any stage. How to continue progressing. Here are some recommendations to enrich your experience. Track your progress. use a notebook or a simple app to record your meals, walks, and social interactions. Make adjustments as necessary. If something isn't working for you, tweak your approach to make it more enjoyable. Try something new, start a different hobby or learn a new skill. New challenges provide opportunities for growth both physically and mentally. By incorporating and maintaining these 5 habits, you demonstrate strength, energy, and a deep appreciation for life. Your experience inspires others to see aging as an opportunity to live more fully and enriching, rather than a limitation. Keep moving forward with pride in your achievements and savor each moment with enthusiasm. You teach that people of all ages can lead a dynamic existence. Every choice you make today impacts the decisions you'll make tomorrow, a gift both for others and yourself. By incorporating these 5 habits, you'll have the ability to motivate others and offer yourself a gift. Every walk, every nutritious meal, and every emotional connection contributes to building a healthier, more dynamic, and fulfilling life. Every step forward in this process is a reason to celebrate. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Of all these practices, which ones do you apply every day, and which ones would you like to start incorporating? Share your experience in the comments. Who knows, maybe your story will inspire others to take the first step. Don't forget to like this video to help spread these helpful tips. To continue receiving content that will transform your life, subscribe to our channel and make sure you don't miss any updates on how to make the most of every phase of life. Activate the bell. If you share this video with your loved ones, together we can expand the concept of a fuller and more meaningful life. See you in the next video. Also, remember that true youth depends on the effort and vitality you put into each day, not the years you've lived. The phrase, "the era of 100 years," is becoming popular as a trend, but there is a reason why not everyone is comfortable with this notion. It refers to the need for planning for a longer retirement. How are you preparing for your retirement? Interestingly, many people believe that, upon reaching old age, the government will provide them with a minimum pension or some kind of financial assistance, and they retire with this expectation. In fact, studies show that 1 in 6 citizens of our country is not taking steps for their retirement. However, the reality is much harsher than one might imagine. After the pandemic, the economy has yet to stabilize, and young people continue to face a high unemployment rate. Despite their efforts to re-enter the job market after retirement, opportunities for those over 50 or 60 years old are limited, except for some public sector jobs. Among the older adults who struggle to find work, many opt to start their own businesses or risk their money in cryptocurrency or stock investments, which often leads to total losses and a retirement filled with hardships. Currently, more than 40% of elderly people in our country live in poverty, making us the country with the highest poverty rate among seniors in the OECD. This means that nearly half of older adults live in conditions that put their livelihood at risk. Moreover, our country stands out for having the fastest aging rate within the OECD, and with the retirement of the baby boomer generation, issues such as loneliness and isolated death are emerging in various areas of society. Many elderly people are forced to continue working in tough jobs, such as collecting cardboard, to survive. Therefore, it is crucial that we begin to plan for our future and make decisions to avoid a desolate old age. According to the National Pension Institute, the estimated monthly cost for a dignified life after retirement is 1.54 million won. If we assume a life expectancy of 30 years after retirement, an individual would need to save 540 million won, while a couple would need 1.108 billion won. Including healthcare expenses, a couple would need to save at least 1.3 billion won to live independently and avoid a difficult old age. Although this might seem like an unrealistic figure, considering the high living costs and the fact that, unlike past generations where children took care of their parents' well-being, today we are responsible for our own old age. This idea seems more reasonable. Just 10 years ago, a bowl of noodles cost about 3,000 won, and today we can't get it for less than 10,000. While we know it is crucial to start saving for retirement from a young age, in practice, it becomes difficult when we are already facing immediate financial challenges. However, some people believe that life is unique and we should enjoy it without obsessing too much over money. While ways of consumption may differ depending on the person, the key is to remember that it is not only about earning money, but also about how we manage those resources to avoid becoming a burden on our children. Aging, illness, and weakening are inevitable for everyone. The stage of life after 60 or 70 years old is not something that only happens to other people. To ensure a peaceful retirement, specialists recommend starting to plan at least 5 years before leaving work, taking into account the considerable decrease or loss of income. It is much more crucial to learn to manage expenses than to focus solely on making money. Today, I am going to talk about the 5 consumption habits that people approaching retirement, especially those in their 50s or 60s, should avoid to prevent a difficult old age. If we educate ourselves in advance and take the necessary steps, we can enjoy a more fulfilling and rewarding life in our later years. Let's start with the first habit to avoid: providing excessive financial support to adult children. Parents who have invested a large portion of their savings in raising their children often complain that, if they don't give them money, they get upset; if they provide a minimal amount, they feel insecure; and if they give everything, they end up facing financial problems. Many believe they should buy a home for their children because, if they don't, they feel they have failed in their role as parents. But what do children learn when they see their parents make these financial sacrifices? Although it may seem like a joke, this situation is a painful reality for many. We cannot overlook this reality. When we see some parents, in trying to help their children, end up in poverty, we must be very cautious. It is not necessary to give in to all their desires but to be transparent about what is possible and what is not. The idea that being good parents means giving them everything they ask for must be left behind. We cannot spend our lives solving our children's problems, and both parents and children need to understand this. Financial support should not be a perpetual burden; it is essential to set clear limits. Sometimes, love means teaching our children to be independent without expecting us to do everything for them. My husband's health unexpectedly declined, so I decided to close the restaurant to dedicate myself to caring for him. Since our only source of income was the restaurant, we barely managed to cover daily expenses and medical costs with what it generated. However, after a long battle with illness, my husband passed away last winter. What he left behind was a single-family home registered in both of our names and some savings in the bank account. Shortly after the funeral, an unexpected problem related to the inheritance arose, leaving me quite disappointed with my son. He expressed his desire to keep the house, something I never imagined he would say. During my husband's prolonged illness, the expenses were high, so the inheritance was not substantial, and the home we lived in was the only thing left. Although we lived with some difficulties, that house was full of memories with my children, which helped us cope with the problems. In fact, after my husband's death, I had already thought about selling the house and dividing a part of its value between my son and my daughter. I was surprised when my son mentioned the desire to receive a part of the house. In the end, I decided to sell the house where we had lived for more than 20 years. The interested buyer appeared faster than I expected, and a month ago, we signed the sale contract. I needed some time to find a new home, so I left a fairly long payment period. The sale price was around 800 million won. My plan was to give each of my children 200 million won and buy a relatively new villa, costing less than 3 million won, to move into. Before continuing, remember to like the video if you're enjoying it, and subscribe to the channel for the best advice on how to attract abundance and prosperity into your life. Let's move forward. I plan to allocate the remaining 100 million won to my retirement savings account. I felt confident in my health and thought that I wouldn't have any issues living alone if I went back to work at the restaurant, which I knew well. After receiving the money, I went with my daughter to view some villas. However, my son was completely against buying the villa and suggested that I consider an apartment instead. To my surprise, he told me that rather than buying the villa, I should rent it. Additionally, he proposed lending me the remaining money and offered to help me with the monthly expenses in exchange for interest. He explained that he could manage the money, and that this would be a beneficial situation for both of us, as it would relieve me from worrying about the expenses. At first, I was a little uncomfortable with this stance, but after reflecting on it, I realized that he wasn't entirely wrong, which has left me somewhat confused about what decision to make. My son has not yet achieved financial stability, which worries me even more. What should I do? Buy the villa, or, as my son suggests, rent it and lend him the money? My mother is still evaluating the situation. What would you do? I'd love to know your opinion in the comments. Nowadays, it seems that the traditional Eastern idea of family, which children had, has lost its strength, as it increasingly depends on the parents' economic capacity. It's sad that respect for parents often depends more on what they can offer financially than on genuine affection. Of course, there are still children who think differently, and the desire of parents to provide the best for their children remains natural. All parents yearn for their children to have a more successful and fulfilling life than their own, and this is something we all share. However, we should not feel overly guilty for not being able to give them everything they want right away. The issue is not whether we give, but when we give. At the end of our lives, all we leave is for our children. If we focus too much on them and neglect our own retirement planning, we might become a burden to them. Regarding event expenses, how much do you allocate each month for such purposes? Do you think you'll ever recover that investment? Recently, I ran into some school friends. While chatting, one of them mentioned that he had spent over 3 million won just on events during May and June of this year. As a senior executive in a company with branches nationwide, I always receive information about activities and celebrations in various regions. Although I've been informed, knowing about them doesn't make it any easier to avoid attending. If the event is out of town, I can't help but make some contribution, even if it's small. The expenses typically range from 100,000 to 500,000 won, which has become an increasingly heavy burden. The siblings are still studying, and I wondered if I will ever recover all that I spend on these events. I shared my concerns with my friends. If I had to spend between 1 million and 2 million won a month, it would be quite difficult to manage. Although these aren't huge amounts, I also spend about 300,000 won monthly. Thanks to the collaboration of many people in family gatherings, I try to repay that support with gratitude. However, when it comes to my school friends, it seems that this kind of mutual help won't be as frequent. That's why a friend suggested that, from now on, it would be better to reduce the amount to express my sincere interest, even if in a small way. After some more words, my friend ended the conversation with a bitter smile and said, "Despite everything, there's always something worth it. If you do it superficially, even if you pay, they will end up criticizing you." I thought that the wisest approach would be to consider this issue as an investment in the household, which would make it easier to manage. Originally, condolence gifts came from a tradition of At his daughter's wedding, held last September, he only sent invitations to those family members and friends with whom he has kept in touch recently. He mentioned that he didn't want to complicate things with events during his retirement, so we must establish a positive cycle, giving and receiving less. By adopting this practice of economizing on contributions to family events, it will be easier to prepare for the future. What is evident is that if we continue handling events the way we do now, we could face financial difficulties during retirement. It's a temptation. Upon reaching old age, after leaving our occupations, we tend to think it's time to relax after years of effort. The first 3 to 5 years of retirement are often dedicated to traveling, reconnecting with old friends, and participating in various gatherings. However, in these situations, we should not boast about our financial situation or make it obvious that we have money. Even if we do, it's better to act as if we don't have it, or if we don't, manage the situation with prudence and humility. It's crucial to be cautious, especially when receiving investment suggestions from people we've known for a long time or from those we've met briefly. Those who offer us investment opportunities or promise big profits should be avoided. Others' recommendations should be taken only as a guide, and we must evaluate them carefully, considering our personal situation and judgment. In the past, investment fraud was mostly in person, but over time, online fraud has grown rapidly. Financial scams like phishing or Ponzi schemes are becoming more complex. Last year, a man from Gwangju, known as George, lost his entire pension of 20 million won by investing in a blockchain-related project. They assured him of a daily payment between 1.5% and 2% of his investment if he used a simple payment system and bought cryptocurrency. For the first 2 months, he received payments on time, but suddenly they stopped, and the business closed. The company was organizing technology seminars across the country, encouraging people to invest in blockchain, a cutting-edge technology, and promised higher profits if they referred friends. Currently, 4 people have filed complaints, half of whom are over 70 or 80 years old. It is estimated that the total fraud could exceed 600 million won. A 60-year-old man, who invested 200 million won, commented that he was influenced by the promise of being able to secure money for his retirement. After the victims formed groups, many of those affected, especially those in their 80s, admitted they weren't aware they were being targeted by scammers focusing solely on the elderly. This group is still active, changing names and continuing to scam older people. It is better to refrain from making investments or following suggestions we don't fully understand. The most advisable thing is to focus only on what we know and not get involved in things that feel unfamiliar. In this way, we can at least maintain our financial stability and avoid unnecessary stress or frustrations. The 4th type is the excessive use of supplements. Many people wonder why it's necessary to reduce the amount of supplements as we age. At 50, some humorously comment that we end up taking as many supplements as if it were a small handful. In reality, not only supplements but many older adults in Korea start their day with a variety of medications. Our parents, who were once healthy, began taking medications for blood pressure and, over time, painkillers. Although there are differences between medications and supplements, we are constantly exposed to marketing for the latter. Health programs encourage the idea that certain components are the solution to all ailments, causing anxiety over the need to consume them. Professor George from the National University of Geriatrics points out that excessive use of supplements and health products can reduce the body's ability to function independently. An example of this is that when taking a medication with a particular ingredient, the body stops producing it naturally, as it always receives it in the form of medication. One day I realized that I was taking a considerable amount of supplements, convinced they could solve my problems with pain and exhaustion. Moreover, it became a significant expense. We live in a capitalist environment, and if we are not careful, advertising can easily exploit our vulnerabilities. There are also people who try to lose weight using supplements. Since these products are related to health, many people consider them safer than medications and consume them in the hope of reducing appetite. The simple act of taking these supplements, even if it is meant to suppress hunger, creates a psychological sense of well-being, which leads many people to seek them out. Although supplements are considered food, ingesting certain components in large quantities can have adverse effects. Furthermore, while short-term results may be positive, some drugs can cause serious long-term consequences. In fact, I know someone who, after taking hypertension medication for an extended period, developed an enlarged heart. All medications, even if beneficial in one aspect, can have negative repercussions in another. Fifth, the costs related to healthcare and services. Living longer is not always an advantage. While life expectancy increases, if the quality of life does not keep pace, the time spent dealing with health issues grows, which raises medical and care expenses, becoming a significant burden in old age. There are ways to reduce these medical costs, such as the concept of gintech, which combines muscle and finances, highlighting the importance of preserving muscle strength. From the age of 50, muscle strength begins to decline, and after 60, it decreases by about 3% each year. It is crucial not only to increase muscle mass but also to preserve the muscle you already have. The most effective way to maintain muscle strength is through regular exercise, and it is important to have the guidance of a professional. According to a geriatrics professor, walking properly can preserve health. However, trying to keep up with younger people or relying on YouTube videos can cause injuries. With the guidance of a trainer or physical activity specialist, muscles can be strengthened, and joint mobility optimized. It is also recommended to incorporate two types of physical activities, as performing only one consistently could negatively affect some muscles or joints due to repetitive effort. Training plans are mainly divided into aerobic, resistance, and stretching exercises, so it is advisable to seek a balanced combination with the support of a professional. Although having expert guidance can be expensive, it is suggested to take advantage of the wellness services available at public health centers, which offer programs to assess physical condition and suggest appropriate exercises. Additionally, ensuring sufficient protein intake through foods like grains, legumes, fruits, and vegetables helps to strengthen muscles. It is well known that planning resources and strategies for old age is crucial, but in the current context, immediate difficulties can make it hard to look toward the future. However, although today's elderly seem to be in better shape than previous generations, declining income, rising expenses, and health issues can turn a lack of retirement preparation into a source of concern. That's why, even if it seems too late, the best thing is to start making retirement plans, even if slowly, starting now. Although the beginnings of life are immature and imperfect, if we persist and face obstacles with determination, we will eventually reach fulfillment. Along the way, we may fall, suffer, and experience pain, but the key is to get up. If we stay still, everything will stop there, but if we rise, life will restart. Even if the sky is covered in clouds, that is not where our existence lies. We must be brave and keep moving forward. The journey of life lies ahead of us, and although suffering is part of the path, so will joy. Finally, in Japan, where they are already focusing on a useful life of up to 120 years, 7 strategies for saving in old age have gained popularity. I want to close this video by sharing those suggestions. First, reduce food expenses, plan a weekly budget, check what's already in the refrigerator before shopping, make lists of necessary items, and limit supermarket visits to 3 times a week. Second, save on water and electricity, use low-consumption showers and devices. To reduce electricity costs, it is advisable to use high-consumption appliances, such as air conditioning, on automatic mode, avoiding frequent turning off and on. Third, it is essential to review fixed expenses, assess insurance and communication costs, reduce private insurance to the basics, and if necessary, opt for cheaper mobile phone plans. Fourth, consider selling the car. Owning a car involves constant expenses, but some municipalities offer low-cost public transportation for the elderly. Exploring these services could make keeping the vehicle unnecessary. It's a way to achieve it. Fifth, delay the pension to receive a higher amount. Since April 2022, it has been possible to start receiving the pension at 65. However, if you continue working or don't need the funds immediately, you can choose to delay the pension until after 65, which will allow you to receive a higher amount. For example, if you decide to start receiving it at 70, the pension could increase by up to 42%. Sixth, obtain money for living by using your home as collateral. In Japan, there is also the reverse mortgage system, which in Korean terms is similar to a housing pension. This system allows you to take out a loan by putting your house as collateral. If you own your home, this can be a constant source of income. The loan can be repaid through monthly interest payments, and the capital is covered by selling the property after the owner's death, or heirs can take on the debt. Seventh, prolonging healthy life. The highest costs in old age are related to medical and nursing care. In the end, if you maintain good health, you can reduce these expenses. According to Japan's Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare, men typically need medical and nursing care for about 9 years, while women require it for about 12 years. The ministry suggests doing 10 minutes of exercise daily, consuming 70 g of vegetables a day, quitting smoking, and having regular medical checkups. And with this, we come to the end of the video. Old age is synonymous with dignity, and I wish everyone a fulfilling and radiant life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and like it. Thank you for joining us until the end.